All right, we're back, and hopefully we got this situated. Because uh, blame our internet. So don't blame the black man. Don't blame any of the black men working today. It's strictly an internet issue. It is not us. But going back to the conversation about the Watson trade, and I believe I asked the question because the question was asked to me through an article, and the question was, did the Browns make a deal with the devil in trading for Watson? And Ronnie, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from Tim because that posed an interesting scenario.
Well, I'm not sure why he's not able to hear us at all. Um, but I mean, I don't really think he is. I don't think we made a deal with the devil. If we did, it's a great fucking deal.
Man, you got to buzzer yourself on that one
I did. I had to.
for for you get us tossed up. I have a lot of angry Browns fans.
Finally, he said
All right,
it's working.
okay,
Sounds like we just can't get Ronnie to work for some reason. He can't hear us. Tell him to check his volume on his side.
yeah.
But yeah, I believe it was definitely like something like, honestly, I think he just wanted out. And he had to find him a good place. I mean, I feel like, the amount of value they really got was good, in my opinion.
You are absolutely right. And here's the thing I want Browns fans to understand. You didn't have to gut the team to get him.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like we did. I think it was amazing. I mean, in a sense, we lost a lot of pieces.
I don't think we lost anything. I mean, here
Not for them,
well,
not as far as the trade.
as far as the trade, because clearly I got on Steelers shit, but I'm a football fan at heart. So here's how I look at this. Jarvis was getting old. He's hurt. He's about to turn 30. And as we all know, 30 is the devil's age in football. The minute you turn 30, everybody starts looking at you like you can't contribute, but yet Tom fucking Brady's playing in his fucking 40s and everybody's still yay. So, with that, it was also an $18 million cap hit behind that for Jarvis. Jarvis wanted to stay, but knowing Jarvis, he probably wasn't going to take a pay cut. And in 4,000 yards and I think it was like 12 touchdowns or something like that. He shouldn't have to. But if you knew that this deal was possibly coming or it was a possibility, you still should do something to help the team money wise. You could have restructured, got the same money, and just restructured your contract for more years. That's the first thing you could have did. But whatever the case is, that Jarvis was going to be a cap hit. Look, the Odell thing didn't work out. It was between him and Baker, so whatever. Uh, Outside of that, I don't know what else could have been done. But you only lost two receivers. One was hurt and didn't like the quarterback. The other one was hurt but was still productive. So you didn't really lose much on that. You still got Peoples Jones. You still got your running backs who you sorely need in this offense. All you did was upgrade your quarterback. And doing the numbers, Watson is statistically better by 6% in most of all the categories that quarterbacks have been looking at. And and that Dame, you already know, you know the way the game works. If they don't want to give you more years, you can't do nothing about it. So I I know he wanted to stay. A restructure could have worked, but 18 million for like 6 years, it probably wouldn't have worked. It's just call it what it is. Probably wouldn't have.
So if we don't get Amari, do you think Peoples Jones is our number one receiver?
Probably, more than likely. But you got Amari Cooper, which was a steal.
A great target.
Great target, even better steal. Because one, I hate the Cowboys, so you got him from the Cowboys. Let's just say that off top. Got him from the Cowboys. Number two, you didn't pay no money. And most times with a trade, nowadays, there's some money behind it. And with what Watson's getting, Watson gonna be here for a while. And I don't think that this trade is any worse than anything else anybody else has done around the league. Especially when you think about the Russell Wilson trade. Denver got a steal. Denver literally stole. Here's what's funny about this one. Denver literally stole an old division rivals quarterback and didn't think twice about it. And they didn't give up nothing. You know, and the crazy part about this is both quarterbacks waived their no trade clauses. And if you notice, the only quarterbacks that had no trade clauses in their contracts were black. Outside of Brady, but Brady retired, came back. He spent 2 months with his wife and was like, I can't take this bitch. he literally sat at home with Giselle and the boys, and he starts looking at TV and he's like, shit. Hey, look, Roger, we gotta talk. I think I made a mistake. I'm at home. Shit ain't really working for me. I'll see y'all next week. And that's exactly what happened. So at this point, Andrew Berry, he made his career as a GM with this decision, with this move. With the last two moves. Amari Cooper, now Deshaun Watson. You have a hell of a whoever taught him how to be a GM, they need to be in the GOAT status. GOAT status, Hall of Fame, all of that. Spoon, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I think I'm good now.
All right. Well, the question was, because John Suchin, who's a very good colleague of mine, very good writer as well, he sent me his article, and he said the title of the article asked a very good question. And the question was, did the Browns make a deal with the devil by signing Watson, by trading for Watson? What do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, the franchise is one that has always given second chances to people or taken gambles on folks who have had some issues off the field, right? So it could be whether it was something that happened before they signed them or while they still had the player and decided to keep them. Prime example, right? Let's go back a little bit. And I'm going to go back to like the 99 era. I could go back further than that, but I'm not going to do that yet. So like, let's say with William Green, you know, with him and his issues that he had off the field, they kept riding with him, right? Malik McDowell this year, you know, his whole situation with the, you know, his head being hit and crashing and all of that, him being naked in front of people, whatever other problems, you know, they kept doing deals with him. And then also when I talked about earlier, like Kareem Hunt and his situation, and he had to sit out like 9 games after that. They still kept him. He's doing good now. And it's just a string of people. And that's just a few examples. You know, there's a lot more. Of course, we would probably want to forget about Josh Gordon and the multiple suspensions over, you know, marijuana and all that kind of stuff, which at the time that was an issue. Now the league's kind of pulled back a little bit in terms of marijuana and stuff like that. But it's just more and more stuff that keeps happening over and over again to where, with the Browns in general and also with some other organizations, sometimes you just make moves to make your position better, and that's what they did. I don't feel like they did a deal with the devil in this situation. I feel like it was a smart move in terms of personnel, in terms of on-the-field product, and in terms of having a quarterback that can actually compete with the level of talent that you're going to end up facing in the AFC. Because you and I talked about this when it came to AFC West. Like, that's like watching a playoff game every week now in that division.
Exactly.
You got to worry about those 4 teams. You got to worry about Josh Allen and Bills.
In Buffalo.
Right. Lamar when he's healthy. Joe Burrow now, then get into the Super Bowl. Like, you have to get something.
And here's what's crazy. I was on Twitter Talk last night with some guys talking about this trade. You realize, and one guy did laugh when I said this, but when you look at it, this is definitely true. There are only 2 divisions now where they have the top 8 quarterbacks going at it. And I did say top 8 because I honestly believe this is a good fit for Mr. Trubisky. Like, throw all of that shit out in Chicago. Yes, he did make it to the playoffs twice with 2 very bad defensive teams. And
exactly,
everybody wants to jump on Matt Nagy, but don't forget, Matt Nagy is a hell of a coach. The problem is their front office stinks.
Yep.
Chicago's front office is terrible. Chicago's front office has not been good since the days of Devin Hester being there. All right, let's just call that what it is. So Mitch made it on a bad team, no running back to speak of that was like top 10. No receivers that were top 10. All he had was essentially Khalil Mack.
Exactly.
And the defense was still bad, even with Khalil Mack. So he made it to the playoffs twice. He's durable. He's big as shit. And he's played in cold weather. Because the NFC North is cold as shit. I don't know if y'all been to Chicago, but it's cold in motherfucking Chicago. Cold in Green Bay. So he will stand out in the AFC North. And I honestly believe that the Rooneys are in works to get him more help at receiver, more help at running back to back up Najee Harris, and the defense will be better than it was this year. On top of that, like you said, you got Burrow, you got Jackson, Lamar Jackson, and you got Deshaun Watson in the AFC North. In the AFC West, you got Herbert, you got Derek Carr, you got Russell Wilson, and Patrick Mahomes. Those are the only 2 divisions with top 10 quarterbacks on the starting roster.
Yes.
So, I don't think this was a bad move. What I think is the backlash from this move should be eased up on. Because, again, this is all alleged. Mind you, not only is it all alleged, and as you can see, we got the number scrolling across at the bottom if you want to call in. But mind you, like I said, he had never been in trouble at Clemson. He never got in trouble up until 2020, the end of 2020, 2021. So this is really sketchy that all of this shit pops up as he's saying he wants out because he sees what's going on in the organization. And it's been thrown around the league that organization has been known to be racist. They were keep this in mind, folks. I want y'all to keep this in mind. That ownership group was one of the ownership groups that was against letting Kaepernick back in the league. Keep that in mind. The Texas organization.
Looks like we are getting a caller here on the Fitz Trash Bin LLC hotline.
All right, caller, who is you? What you want to say?
What's up, Chief?
Oh, it's Dame. Friend of the show, Dame. Non-Tecmo Super Bowl playing ass.
Oh, here we go.
See, I'm trying to keep it on the topic, man. You always gotta go there.
It's all love, Dame. It's all love, Dame. It's all love, man.
I know it is.
Well,
look,
up?
Man. I put a comment in the section saying, with the way the Browns structured, you can go with the personnel moves that the Chargers made and some of the teams in the AFC West. The way the AFC period You couldn't go back into this season with the same type of quarterback on that roster.
You are absolutely
They
correct.
had to go in there and do the upgrade.
And
Now I'm just gonna.
go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm just gonna keep it on a football perspective. I'm not gonna get into the legal aspects because that still has to play out, and that's still you're gonna get the backlash. That's what comes with the territory when you're dealing with these type of issues. You ought to know that being a Steelers fan. Still don't know how to fuck you do that.
I know.
You living in Cleveland,
Man, get off.
goddamn weirdo.
I don't know.
But
You don't know how to play Tecmo Bowl.
Oh man.
How
Oh,
come we
man.
ain't play bad? How about that?
I suck at
I'll
bad.
beat your ass in that.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine.
Anyway, yeah, but for the most part, like I said, you can't go in there from a football standpoint. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it about that. The dude is way better in the drop back game. That was one of the elements that the Browns didn't have from a passing standpoint. Baker's only going to be good enough when you're using some form of play action, but you can't use play action the whole game. You got to sometimes get there, drop back, and throw the football, like you said. But you shouldn't go into the season with the same type of quarterback on your roster. You had to make a move.
And
they thought they was out of it, but the Browns make more sense from a personnel standpoint and money standpoint than the Panthers, the Falcons, and who else? The Saints.
Yeah.
The Saints, yeah.
3 out of the 4
None
in
of
the
those
NFC
teams
South.
make sense. Huh?
It was 3 out of the 4 teams in the NFC South. And keep this in mind. Baker and the Browns, I ain't even gonna say Baker. The Browns went 1-3 against the AFC West last year.
Yep.
Who was the only team that they beat? Denver Broncos. Why? Because Denver didn't have a quarterback. Now they do. And they have the top 10 defense. So when you're playing in the AFC, as Dame alluded to, you need shit like this.
You need a baller at that position, especially with the type of roster the Browns got. The Browns can go against any football team, AFC, NFC, and compete. That's it. Compete. But they're not going to go in there heavily favored with number 6 back there as they show. And I was on one of them Twitter little lives too, with Sheena Quick and Sean Smith was in there, and that's when the news broke that they actually got him. And the Panthers she said, Miss Quick says that the Panthers had a better deal for Deshaun, but he chose the Browns because the roster was better and all that other stuff. And philosophically, it makes more sense for him to play here.
And you are absolutely right. Thank you for calling in, Dame. And that's to my point. Statistically, Watson's better. His completion percentage is better. Yards.
And don't forget the leg. Don't forget, now when you run into boot action,
you got to worry about him taking off.
You got to worry about him. Now that holds the backside more. Because the Browns run the same thing, Stefanski, and I'm going to get off the phone because I know you got to, I want to hold up a second. But like I said, the last time you had your show, if I mentioned it, if I didn't, whatever. The Browns, the Bengals, the Rams, the Packers, the 49ers, and Miami is going to be the same thing now. They all run wide zone, mid zone schemes, right? With boot action plays, with boot play action plays and everything. And when you are responsible for the backside, like you're supposed to as a quarterback, when you're handing the ball off, all that's going to do is make those backside defenders, when you're booting, stay home, because now you got a real threat at quarterback that can actually take off and get his own yards if need be. So that's going to open up the run game even more in this scheme. That's going to make the Browns more explosive than what they were in the passing game, even in the boot game. So now you got a guy that can actually do drop backs, and now you're going to be able to do what you got to do. Feel me?
Now, I just pulled this up. Here's the Browns. Here are the opponents for the Browns in 2022.
Ooh.
Ravens, Bengals, Chargers, Patriots, Saints, Jets, Steelers, Bucks. That's the home side. Falcons, Ravens, Bills, Panthers, Bengals, Texans, Dolphins, Steelers. That's the away side.
I just noticed something there.
The Texans.
I
That
just noticed
and-
something there.
That and you start off your schedule tough as shit. You got the Ravens first.
Mm-hmm. And Mel, you know we've talked about this in the past, man, where we always pick them two divisions that we got to face, right? So it sounds like it's going to be the AFC East, right? That's one.
NFC North.
And which one?
AFC.
NFC North.
Yep.
Go fig. The
Actually,
teams that
no.
was recruiting them.
AFC is the AFC East and the NFC South.
NFC South.
NFC South. Sorry.
Well,
Sure.
with that, you got to see Tom Brady, right, in them.
Yeah.
You got to see the Dolphins, who's up and coming, right?
Sure.
You got to compete with the Bills regular season and again in the playoffs. And can you do that with the previous team you had?
You could do that with the previous team. You couldn't do it with the previous quarterback.
You won't be favored
Quarterback?
in none of those games. Now with this guy being under the helm, depending on how everything turns out, from my understanding is as long as he don't settle or whatever, let the whole legal aspect follow through. Like I said, I'm
Yep.
trying to stay out of that. But let's just say that he never settles out. He doesn't lose time from what I understand.
All right, Dan, get your ass off the line. We got another caller, man. We got to take these calls.
Hell no.
Get off the damn line. All right, new caller. What's
Hello.
up?
What it do? It's the one and only Jared A. Davis, aka Said, aka Mr. MRI, aka I wish I could be as smooth as Ronnie back in the day, aka
This guy.
I wish I could sing like Romeo, aka I'm here to start some fires.
All right, well, let's start
Okay.
it. I'm ready. I
Lee
want-
Davis, what's up?
So I feel some type of way, and obviously I gave my verbal dissertation on Facebook yesterday, which I think deserves an Emmy within itself. But I feel some type of way about this Watson thing, man. So I get it, right? As a football person, I get that we needed to upgrade the position. Now everybody, okay, cool. But it's like, man, could y'all have like done this so much better? I feel like they could have.
Well,
Like honestly.
well, if you're referring to the way that they did this with Baker, it's to my understanding through a ESPN source.
Mhm.
They informed him, his people rather, at the combine.
Okay.
He was going to be the starter regardless, but they were still going to make a play for Watson. So that's been documented. So
okay.
now your boss is
Okay.
telling you your job is safe for right now, but I'm still going to look for somebody who has more experience. There's no problem there. The problem comes in when Baker writes the letter of, hey, y'all, I love y'all. Thank y'all for everything. You could have kept your mouth shut.
So you saying he could have kept his mouth shut until everything was official? Because in my
Exactly.
opinion, I thought the letter was great. I'm not gonna lie to you. I read the letter. I said, man, wow, this is a great guy. Like I'm gonna miss this dude if he gets traded. But like, I had no qualms with it.
But the thing is, yeah, and I'm that's exactly what I'm saying, Jared. If he stays quiet until all of this is done, he has no problem. There's no backlash. The internet ain't messing up his life right now with all the memes and social media stuff.
Yeah.
This is something that most players do who are quote unquote divas. They get mad. They get mad when the front office makes a move that is needed. I'm not saying, and before, like I said, everybody's got something to say about the Watson case. I said the fact, I said the facts earlier, but I'll say them again real quick. From Clemson until 2021, you never heard about him getting in trouble at all. Not even so much as a parking ticket. The minute he turns into a whistleblower after Clowney and JJ Watt leave the team along with DeAndre Hopkins, he airs out and says, yeah, the organization is this, that, and the third. and all of a sudden he says he wants out. Now all of these women come up and say he done did something. And you know just as well as I do, in the city of Houston, Houston is too fucking big for you to get in trouble and nobody not know about it.
You are correct, sir.
And if he really did this, and I'm only saying this because you are innocent until proven guilty. If he really did this, he would have been arrested before the day was over.
I feel it.
Not only that, hold up. Not only that, the Houston PD did their own investigation. It took them 6 months, found nothing. The NFL made him sit out a year with their own investigation, found nothing. Now it's a civil suit. So a grand jury couldn't indict him because there wasn't enough evidence. So obviously that means the ownership tried to pay these people to say that he did this, is my personal conspiracy theorist opinion.
I've heard that as well.
On top of that, you cleared the grand jury, you cleared Houston PD, you cleared the NFL, which is judge, jury, and executioner. So what else is there? If he settles, it's not an admission of guilt. That's just him trying to move on with his life. Because and like I said, I just said this earlier, keep in mind, Texans ownership was part of those group of owners that said they didn't want Kaepernick back in the league. So if they didn't want Kaepernick back in the league and the face of the franchise is saying, I want out because y'all ain't right and y'all ain't who y'all pretend to be, what do you think was going to happen?
Yep. It's no opportunity to blackball another black quarterback.
Thank you.
I agree. Here's the thing. Here's right. Because as we always say, either multiple sides to every story. I don't necessarily like two sides because it'd be like 80 sides. The optics of it looks bad. Like if we just kind of take, you know what I'm saying, from a grand worldview look,
it does.
It just looked bad. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
It does.
And it's like, how do you now navigate this decision that you made? Which again, I say, I'm not really mad at, but on this morality kind of compass, it's like, hey man, y'all couldn't have waited until like all the smoke cleared. Now, is the fire at least put out from where it would burn the whole organization down? Yes, I think, like you say, he pretty much good besides these civil suits. But my goodness, does just have a bad turn with it. Like there's a part of me that really wants to celebrate the fact that, one, we finally got a black quarterback besides Spurgeon Wynn, which my goodness, that could have went so much better. But I mean, I can't even celebrate the full fact of this because in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, well, is the league gonna suspend them to try to make a point? Are these civil suits gonna have some kind of weight? Like, and then again, too, you got to think about the female fan base, which I did not know this, but a lot of the people that be in Muni Lot are our sisters, and I did not know that. Like, I just view Muni Lot from a distance, never had a chance to really like kicking a party, but it'd be a lot of women down there, and so now you alienated a great amount of your fan base. And so here's what I'll just say. I mean, listen, if I can.
Here's the thing. Morally, I know this looks bad. I know it does. But this ain't no different from Kobe. This ain't no different from Zeke Elliott.
Dang, I forgot about that.
This ain't no different from Ben, and I'm a Steelers fan. The difference in this one is just, to me, this is just like the Flores situation. There's too much that Deshaun Watson knows about the organization, which everybody else knows, because your top three players from the last decade ended up leaving. Clowney left, number one draft pick. Watt left, number one draft pick. Hopkins left, top 5 draft pick. Those are 3 important people that were on your team that left because they know and they knew they did not like what they were seeing from the organization and from the head coach. The head coach was a piece of shit. The organization was racist. And the organization, and I'm going to say how I feel. And and the organization, again, helped blackball a black quarterback. He still ain't in the league.
Yeah.
He still ain't in the league. We're talking about Kaepernick. So if he knew that and he says he wants out, because I'm going to be honest with you, that's whistleblowing to me. And that's rightfully so. That was rightfully deserved.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, and in my mind, if I'm Deshaun Watson, when all of this stuff came out, the first thing out my mouth, excuse my French for the FCC, would have been, where is all these bitches coming from?
Mm.
Because none of this, like I said, you ain't never heard of him getting in trouble, not from Clemson, not from him getting drafted, not from him up until 2021. So where all these bitches come from?
True. But here's one of the. So I'm not sure. I have not
from anywhere.
Wait, say that again.
He said he's a football player. They could have came from anywhere. As true as that
Facts.
is, as true as that is, I ain't got so much as a parking ticket. I done helped out the city of Houston. And you mean to tell me, the minute I say I want out, you gonna get all these bitches to say I did something?
Yeah.
The way
Can't trash his foundation.
and apologize to him with everything here. Yo, I'm sorry. Like that one scene held so much weight for me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Dig that.
Because they knew and they left him. And that's
But wasn't there something in the deposition that said like Watson apologized to some of the girls in text messages? Now again, that has not been substantiated. But I'm just saying I saw in one of the depositions that like he was apologizing.
Yes, in one of the depositions he does apologize, but that's not substantiated. There's no record. And again, we go back to the Houston Police Department. There's no record that says those even came from his phone. There's no evidence.
I feel you.
So I am not. I'm telling everybody from the world up, I am not saying he's innocent. What I'm saying is these are the facts. Houston Police Department did their investigation. There's no evidence he made contact with any of these women. That was the first investigation. The second investigation came from the NFL and Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell said, I ain't found shit, in so many words.
Yeah.
Now, he clears the grand jury because the grand jury and the Houston Police Department are working together. So that's the third investigation because they got to be part of it. He cleared all three. What else do you want?
And the grand jury cannot be hand selected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Legal perspective. Let's put that out there too. Very unbiased.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yep. And here's another thing.
Put on my Negro Diamonds hat here, my little Nostradamus hat. This is what I think needs to happen. I think Andrew Berry, the Haslams, they need to have the most epic press conference, 2-hour marathon long press conference there has ever been.
Oh, it's coming.
And stump out every fire imaginable that they haven't even imagined could possibly come up. Because when I say the grilling, like beyond the Masonic 33rd degree grilling, they are going to be hit with so many questions. Like you need to almost have your lawyers present at this press conference.
And have Watson right there next to them.
What Berry can't do, he's going to lose the franchise if he does this. Andrew Berry, with his wonderful Princeton education, gets on there and says, hey, we're not at liberty to talk about it because it's still ongoing. I guarantee you, everybody's going to want to burn that place down. Shout out to Watson. Thank you for being here. But if you try to come up with some old skip around the rosy answer and not give people some kind of validity or something to hold on to, bro, you're going to be in the Pharrell hot seat, at least in my opinion.
But that's all you can do legally. That's all you can do until you're cleared to say something. And that's just the way it is. We can't say.
But you got to say something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get there's obviously language that you can't flat out come and say like, yo, he ain't know none of these things. But my dude, it's just a really bad look, man. And because you at the helm, obviously you got the white folks with the money at running the whole show, but your head is on the chopping block, just like Sashi when he was tearing everything down with them draft picks. Your head is on it.
It's no different than I'll give you the best example I got. It is no different than a football player that back in 1994, 95, right before the Browns left, Art Modell broke the bank for, and he was in some shit for beating his wife, cheating on her, and she burns his house down.
Oh, you'll be referencing Andre Rison.
Exactly. It's no different. The only difference is social media wasn't around back there. But here's the thing. It still happened. He still played. He faced no punishment.
None.
None whatsoever. His wife.
I thought he was suspended for 4 games.
No, he was not. He got no punishment.
None.
He got no punishment to the point his wife was on MTV News, ABC, NBC, Fox.
Yeah.
And his wife was famous.
Wife was part of TLC.
Yeah.
With no ordinary chick.
Because he cheated on her and then allegedly beat on her, because we never got the proof of that. Allegedly abused her, cheated on her. She found out. She burnt the man's house down. We're both living in. She gets arrested. She gets off. He faces no punishment for the domestic abuse. So it's no different.
Did she catch that waterfall?
Here
he goes.
I know she went chasing it. I don't know if she caught it, but she went chasing that thing.
I don't even think she used it to put the fire out, bro. But
oh yeah, she didn't. Definitely.
But
RIP.
But RIP left out. But to me, in my eyes, it's no different because he faced no punishment, not from Paul Tagliabue, and we all know Paul Tagliabue was the most strictest outside of Pete Rozelle. He was the strictest commissioner the NFL ever had. And he faced no punishment. He played that whole season up until he was starting to get hurt. So
I dig that. Yeah.
So and that was a Browns organization.
So it feels like in your estimation,
Dame, we know
no matter what they say, everybody is going to be okay.
Yeah, Dame, we know it's deeper than that. But my point was, Rising was part of that. It was public news, and he faced no punishment. So that was where I was going with that point. This is no different.
Yeah.
This was no different. They said the minute he said, "I want out," that's when all of this stuff starts. Nobody besides the three of us here at this studio find that funny. I find that fucking amazing. I find that so amazing. I'm willing to bet if we dug a little deeper, just a little bit, into the phone records of the McNairs front office, emails of the McNairs front office, we'd find something sketchy.
He probably got more dirt, and they trying to like, look, we can really destroy you type shit.
But you can't. But you can't because I cleared everything. What else you got? What you gonna do? Throw my grandmama in jail?
I mean, hell, it's the Texans. They might try.
Once he finds here and he's in, like, I feel like if he gets to a position where he's like winning and he can do no wrong, he's gonna be able to speak up, and everybody's gonna be listening, and then that's when the shit really.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know what? I'm gonna jump on this one. So I just talked to somebody about this yesterday when I was literally leaving from work. And he's like, man, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I said, none of that's going to matter if Cleveland, for some reason, this season, or let's say even next season, reaches at least the AFC Championship. All that's going to go out the water. It ain't going to matter no more. People going to sweep that under the rug and be like, oh, my gosh, believe land and whatever else, we've seen in the press and all that stuff. It's not even going to matter. Because at that point, when they're winning and they're doing exactly what they set out to do, and they've actually turned the corner finally, none of that stuff's going to matter. Just like all these other players that we talked about who had the same issues off the field and their teams were winning, because Mel had mentioned Kobe, RIP, and the situation they had, whether it was something legal or not, or whether it was something that looked bad, or whether it was something that, people weren't going to like, from a moral perspective. Once that winning started happening again, all of a sudden, their legacy was untarnished.
I feel that. Can I just jump in real quick, and then I got to go take care of my kids, so I'm just a great human being. I feel like this whole idea of turning the corner, like, we did that, though. Now, mind you.
Really? I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny when I ask that.
Can I just say we scratched the surface of it?
Yeah,
so it wasn't like we were thinking in the top 5, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, here go the old traditional Browns again, having the number 1 pick. So we had some progress, you know what I'm saying? So granted, I'm looking at Deshaun and saying to myself, hey man, hopefully you take us to the next level. But like, I don't want the fan base to get this idea of like, oh, here comes this savior that's going to lead us even further. Cause we were one call away from the AFC Championship game, in my opinion. Now, that's a little bit biased.
No,
I'm just
you're
calling it for what it
absolutely
is.
right. You were.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if that call doesn't happen and our defense doesn't get, I don't know, quicksand feet, who's to say that we're in this situation?
I still
Just
think
saying.
you're in the situation, and I'm gonna tell you
You
why.
still do.
I still do, and I'm gonna read off to you why. 2018. I'm gonna just read these stats off. You can tell me who you think they are. 2018. 310 completions out of 486 attempts, 3,725 yards, 27-14 is touchdown to interceptions, 63%, 63.8 percentage completion. 2019. 317 to 534, 3,827 yards, 22-21, touchdown to interception, 59.4%. 2020, 305 for 486, 305 out of 486, 3,563 yards, 26-8, 62.8 percentage. 2021, 253 out of 400 for 418, 3,010 yards, 17-13, 60.5 percentage. I'm gonna read the other half. Here's the other half of that. 2017, 126 out of 204, 1699, 19-8, 61.8%. 2018, 345 out of 505, 4,165, 26-9, touchdown to interception, 68.3%. 2019, 333 out of 495, 3,852, 26-12, touchdown to interception, 67.3%. 2020, 382 out of 544, 4,823, 33-7, touchdown to interception, 70.2%. Compare that to each other. Who's who?
Mayfield versus Watson, baby.
Who's Mayfield and who's Watson?
Watson is the latter. Mayfield is the first.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
There you go. You scratched the surface with Baker. You got to the playoffs for the first time since 2002. You won your first playoff game against your rival for the first time since, I think, 1970 something, 1980.
Yeah, I was gonna say since the Avengers came out, so like back in the day.
Yeah. So you do all of that. Now, mind you, you had a way better team than Watson had in Houston. Way better.
Yeah, way better.
From the top down, you had a way better team. And yet, all you've managed to do in your 5 or your 4 years here is win one playoff game. And you've never gone over 4,000 yards.
I have nothing to say. The court
That
rest is
completion went there either.
And your completion percentage was never over 60. Your completion percentage was never over 65.
I can
since
combat
you've
it.
been here.
I can combat it with a little bit.
With what?
We have the toughest division in the league.
What that mean? Would you think the AFC South is a pushover?
No, I don't not say it's a pushover, but is it our division?
It's not. But again, you still had
Still had Indy, you still had the Titans.
you got that, and you got to tackle Derrick Henry, big robotic ass.
You can't tackle him up top at all.
Not only that, you still had the better team. Period. From 2019 all the way till now, you still had the better team. So what is your argument then? If your team is entirely better,
So yes, we had the better team. I give you that for sure.
and again, like I said, Mayfield never went over 65% completion percentage since he's been here. Never went over 4,000 yards. Your worst year was last year.
I don't think he's that great at accuracy. So
You got to be great at something. To get 3,000 yards, you got to be great at something. But think about this.
It's
In
players.
1995, 3,000 yards was a lot of passing yards. In 2022, 3,000 passing yards
it's a
is a
requirement.
half a season.
It's like a requirement.
That's bare minimum now.
You're right.
Yeah. Imagine if Warren Moon, Dan Marino, Randall Cunningham were playing right now in 2022. Damn, Joe Montana. Imagine John Elway. Imagine if they were playing right now. They would torch this league. Niggas would be mad that they got, hey, who we playing this week? John Elway. I'll see y'all next week.
All them names you mentioned would be in the 6,000s.
Exactly. They'd be the first crop of quarterbacks to reach 6,000 yards. No problem. And think about this. Warren Moon, out of all of those quarterbacks up until John Elway won his first 2 Super Bowls, Warren Moon had the best team out of all of them. He had a running back. He had a plethora of receivers. Drew Hill, Haywood Jeffries. Now, and he had a defense that stunk up the joint in a wild card game that I never understood how the fuck they did that. But outside of that, the stats are comparable. But Watson's been to more playoff games. He's 1-2. Baker's 1-0. But when you need him to step up, where has he been? Games he should have won, like the cold weather game against the Raiders a couple years back.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started.
I'm not getting you started. I'm just saying this is the intangible that you get with Watson. Watson would have smoked them. Watson would have been like, all right, I'm sick of y'all shit. You got to win this. Playoffs is on the line. He had a tough time in Houston because he lost one of his running backs. He got Duke Johnson, but then Duke Johnson got hurt. You lost your defense, and then your star receiver leaves. That's a lot to deal with as a quarterback. That's a lot to deal with. So, to be fair, from a football standpoint, this is the best move the Browns could have made. This is the best move they could have made for the best quarterback that was available that they could afford. Because you wasn't getting Aaron Rodgers. Russell and Sierra damn sure wasn't coming to Cleveland. I can all but guarantee that they weren't coming to Cleveland.
Nope.
Who else is out there?
She might have thought about it.
Nah, bro. She ain't thinking about it. Lake Erie smelled like ass. She wasn't thinking about it.
There really wasn't no other option. I mean, other than what? Matt Ryan, and that's a stretch.
Garoppolo's not coming here. As much as I like Garoppolo, he's not coming here at all. It's a done deal. So every quarterback you thought you was going to get that you could have got, you couldn't afford.
I'll be honest. I think, Watson is honestly the best pick for us anyway.
He fits the system perfectly.
Exactly.
Oh, the scheme. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
So,
no brainer.
Even if we had other choices on really other choices, I don't think there was a better choice.
Yeah.
Maybe Russell Wilson, but that's a maybe. And even
very
then,
big maybe.
Yeah, and I don't even think he fits at all. So even if Sierra did really want to come here, I think Watson is the best pick. Totally. I think he definitely upgrades us immensely.
Keep in mind, between the two, Watson can win big games. He's done it in college. He's got a national championship. He's beaten Alabama. That's a big game. That's a big ass game. He's beaten any quarterback he's played against here, just about in the league. The only thing that held him back in Houston outside of the ownership was the fact that there was no team around him.
Right.
There was no team. I honestly believe he'd be in more playoff games, and he probably would have won more playoff games had Watt stayed, Clowney stayed, D-Hop stayed. But because they all left, you put your team at a disadvantage, and you did nothing to help him while he was still playing.
And he would have had a 5,000 passing yard season.
He have it this year.
Mm-hmm.
If he won't have it this year, he'll have it when this shit is over with.
That's the thing, and that's something else. People got to think long term, right? So with this, you lock in a guy who's
26.
He's 26. He's 26. This pans out. you've locked in a guy who's going to be around for at least another 10 years, if not more.
$230 million is a lot of goddamn money.
It is. And with the stuff going on off the field, they already
You never
said
seen
that.
them in your life.
But here's what's funny about it. If he has to sit for 6 games, guess what? He's only owed $1 million this year. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that? Here's another thing.
And that only adds to his longevity too, because he didn't play 2021.
Exactly. He didn't play 2021 and he got paid that money.
So that's
He's healed up and he's 26 years up. Man.
that shows you. Hold up.
Oh
Hold up. Wait, no. I want you to hear this too. Because I just put this into perspective because you said that. He didn't play 2021 at all. And he still got paid.
Still got
Now,
paid.
if you was in any kind of trouble at work where they sit you at home, do you get paid?
I don't want to say it out loud. Hold on.
No, be honest. If you in trouble at work and they send you home,
I'll say something.
and tell you don't come back until we figure this out, do you get paid?
If you're a cop.
If you're a cop, yeah. If you're a cop, but I mean like a regular Joe like you or me.
Oh no, especially you or me.
Yeah. Okay. So think about that. If he was really guilty of anything, and I'm not saying he's innocent, I'm saying this is the what if scenario you guys got to think about. If he was really guilty and they sat him for an entire fiscal NFL year from March to the end of this, from March to the Super Bowl, because I can't say Pro Bowl no more because it ain't end of the season no more.
I know you were serious when you said fiscal.
Yeah. So from March to the Super Bowl, if he was wrong of anything he did or they say he did, would he have gotten paid? A whole NFL year? Would he have gotten paid?
Nope.
There you
Because
go.
suspensions, they don't pay you.
Exactly. They docked
He
that.
wouldn't suspend it. He wouldn't suspend it technically.
Technically, he wasn't. You're right. But he was sacked. So that's just, let's call it what it is. That's a team suspension. That's not a league suspension. That's a team suspension.
Team. Yep.
And even with that, when you normally get suspended by the team, you don't normally get paid. Case in point, when Adrian Peterson got busted for allegedly abusing his son, and all he did was really whoop him and show him who was boss, they suspended him, league and team, and he did not get paid. Here we are with Deshaun Watson. You can go on administrative leave. That's administrative leave. That means they put you on that and say, we're going to figure this out, but you're not exactly guilty, so we got to pay you. They said the same shit, but you know just as well as I know, Dame, when you're playing pro football, if you do anything that's detrimental to the team, it's going to cost you some money. You as a player, it's going to cost you money. So if he really did it, and they all adamant that he did it, would he have really gotten paid? I don't think so.
Nope.
I don't think he would have.
Nope.
I honestly believe I don't think he would have got paid. So, with that, Browns fans, this is coming from a Steeler fan. Chill the fuck out. You have the best quarterback at a major steal because you didn't give up no players that are important.
Not one.
You didn't give up no players that were important because they were, I guarantee you, if you don't offer 3 firsts, got another call? I bet you it's Dane.
Another caller here on the Fish Trash Bin Cleaning Service LLC hotline.
Bet you it's Dane. Caller, what's up?
Hey, buddy, it's me again.
I told you it was Dane. What you want now, man?
Listen, man. Y'all killing me. You can't go on administrative leave. It's a team. First thing, he wasn't never suspended. He was held back.
Team
That's the
suspension.
thing about this. He was not suspended. He was held back. That's administrative leave. That's what they call it in a corporate term.
We ain't in corporate right now. We ghetto.
No, we ain't got time for it. We need to get on with that mentality. Now, the thing about it is a lot of the legal aspects is just that. It's legal, right? So when you are dealing with, and my mother's a former police officer, and
We
there's
know.
been many
We
cops
know.
that have been suspended without pay, depending on what type of charge it might be or allegation it might be. In this case, you know, they paid him to sit out.
But why
You
would you have?
understand?
Here's my thing. Why, if it was that serious, why would you pay him? If you feel like it's gonna hurt the team that much,
It's just what you just said, right? Watt and them left. You know, you call the racism thing or the shit that's going on, right? So we put these women up to saying this to try to control your ass from leaving. So we gonna throw this out there, right? Remember you had mentioned something about that where all these women came from?
yeah.
So if you are bucking what they're trying to do and trying to get out and air their shit out, they're gonna put your ass down and sit you down. We're gonna pay you still, but you're gonna sit down for a minute. Because you're not about to be out here saying anything about us, about our company.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
For sure. And you know what?
So technically, it was an administrative lead for him because they're the ones that made the fucking narrative. Just saying, not saying if it was innocent or guilty. That's what they do, you know. So I just wanted to put that in there.
I still feel like if it was that serious, they wouldn't have paid him at all. Even because you, as an owner, wouldn't you want to save face? Apparently,
You would want to,
but
but
apparently
you know,
they don't care about saving face because again,
that's because they're the ones that put the narrative out there.
exactly.
Yep. So they still paid him anyway to keep him quiet.
And like I said, you were also part of the group, the ownership group that kept Cap out.
Well, that's another story.
Exactly.
I don't know why y'all so enamored with that blacklisting thing because
I'm not enamored with the blacklisting. I'm enamored with the fact that this ownership is sketchy as fuck, and your star player said you were sketchy as fuck, and you're trying to destroy him because he told the truth.
I hate to admit it to you, but every NFL team is ran that way, unfortunately.
Well, we know the Dolphins is going through it now, so that don't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised about the Redskins. Or excuse me, can I still say the Redskins?
We still say the Reds.
We still say it. We still
I
say
mean,
Indians
I
too.
still say the Indians. I still say the Indians.
We ain't gonna never say the Guardians, not and
Woo!
believe it.
Don't piss me off. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ian.
Oh, quick update. Because we spent so much time with this fucking technical difficulty. Smooth. You'll be happy to know that the Carolina Tar Heels defeated Baylor. So there is the first upset and the first bracket buster of March Madness.
That's a big one.
As Carolina beats Baylor 93-86 in overtime.
That's a big one too. That's a big one.
Right now, as we speak, Creighton is playing number 1 Kansas over in the Midwest region, and Kansas is up 31-29. In the women's bracket, Buffalo is down by 2 to Tennessee, 32-30, and like Tennessee might pull this one out. So it's chaos on both the men and the women's side. It's just crazy time in sports, man. But what I was going back to saying before Dame Crazy Behind called in, Browns fans, chill out. You got the best quarterback for the best available money that you had.
Mm-hmm.
Got him locked in. You got him locked in. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks, if not the highest paid quarterback this year in the league. You got a superstar wide receiver who's very productive in Amari Cooper.
And very physical.
Very physical. And you got him for nothing. What they give him for, like a fifth round?
A fifth.
A fifth round. You got a top 10 wide receiver for a fifth round pick from the dumbass Dallas Cowboys.
Man, hey, Mel, you know what? It's funny you say this, man, because this is giving me Dorsey vibes, man.
Right. And I say that so because I hate Dallas. I say that so strongly. The dumbass Dallas Cowboys. And that part of that's Dak's fault, but we're going to get into that another time. But you got a steal and you got the deal of the century done as far as football is concerned. Because nobody expected you to pull this off.
None.
Everybody wrote you off. ESPN, Bleacher Report, Yahoo Sports, TMZ, Media Takeout, Kanye. They all wrote y'all off. And you got the best quarterback, a top 10. Baker's top 20. You got top 10. That's a huge upgrade. Huge upgrade. Amid all of this stuff going on. Get it. We get it. But you still got a top 10 upgraded quarterback. You got both running backs. You got Donovan Peoples-Jones to complement Amari Cooper. Your defense is still set because they just offered Clowney another, $24 million?
Yeah,
like
2 year 24.
They offered him, and he's probably going to take that because he got 9 sacks last year just off of playing alongside Myles Garrett. Your secondary was among tops in the league for half of a season before they started getting hurt. So you had a top 10 secondary. You had a top 10 front seven before they started getting hurt. So imagine if everybody stayed, and the only reason everybody got hurt was they was trying to pick up the slack because Baker got hurt.
Yep, more time on the field.
And they didn't trust Case Keenum. I'm sorry. I like Case Keenum as a person, like him as a college quarterback, but I don't trust him with a potato gun. So that tells you just put your defense in a stressful situation, but now you got him out of a stressful situation because you just got the best quarterback and arguably going to probably be the best quarterback in the division, depending on who you talk to.
You know, it's funny, man, because people were mad, right? And this is me going at Browns fans. People were mad when the organization was screwing up year after year and stayed faithful. Now they make a move that's probably the best move they could have made, and they're mad. When are you going to be satisfied? I get it. You want a championship. I get that. I'm with you on that. But when things are going right, you're still angry. At some point, you have to sit back and go, this makes sense.
Really
Let's see what they do.
The Andre Rison deal, you should have been mad about.
That you should have been, man. See. That's what I'm saying, man. People are never satisfied. People are never satisfied. And what's crazy is I guarantee if for some reason they end up winning it, they're still going to look back at this and go, man, I still don't feel right about it. Because that's how the fan base is. That's how the fan base is. They will be there front row and center, 0-16, drinking beer, partying, whatever.
Yeah, you'll be.
And then something actually makes sense and still be mad.
You'll be on par for 0-16, but you won't be on par for consistent playoff appearances. Something ain't right.
Consistent playoff appearances and a consistent ticket to get punched to go all the way, and you still mad? Man, I'm embarrassed. As a fan, I am embarrassed.
And you know what? So what? So what? He got this suit going on. That don't take away from on the field, man. And that's just a legit reality. Watson is better than Baker. Even before Baker got hurt, Watson is better than Baker. Oh, okay. Baker's got a Heisman Trophy. Yeah. Could he win a big game in college? No. He went to the playoff, lost to Georgia. Sean Watson went to the playoff multiple times, got a national championship. He's been to the playoffs in the NFL more times than Baker. He's got one. They both got the same playoff win. He's got more losses, but he's still been there. If I'm not mistaken, he's got a division championship. Baker don't.
So you said somebody said Baker has a Heisman.
No, yeah, Baker got a Heisman.
That was a comment, or
No, that was me saying that. Baker does have a Heisman.
okay.
Baker
Okay.
does have a Heisman. But Watson's got a national championship.
He does. And you know what's interesting about that Heisman?
He
Baker
could
got a Heisman.
He could have won it.
Kyler Murray got a Heisman. You know what links those two guys together?
They're both in Oklahoma, and they both can't win big games.
And who they both throw to? CeeDee Lamb.
And where is CeeDee Lamb?
See what I'm saying? See what
So,
I'm saying?
so let's just look at the reality. Stats are comparable. Although Deshaun got a couple hundred more, they both got 14,000, but Deshaun's got a couple hundred more. Deshaun's been in more big games. Like literally, since he's been in the league, he's only had one losing record. That was 2020. He went 11-5 his first year, 10-5 his second year. So he was 10 games above 500 first 2 years.
Yep.
He
Gets better every year.
His record doesn't speak volumes on the play. He's actually 3 games above 500 in that department. And he's still better than Baker in that department. Baker's 29-30. Watson's 28-25. And Baker had the better team. So please, Browns fans, tell me where I'm lying about that scenario on the field. On the field. Tell me where I'm lying. That's the best fucking upgrade you could get. You went from Hallie to Tyra. I take Tyra over Hallie in that scenario.
I'm about to say,
Okay, I do this one. You went from Hallie to Salma Hayek. Yeah. Yeah. Selma bad. Selma bad. At 50, Selma bad. So my point is, you got a great quarterback who can do both. He can run the ball, he can throw the ball, he can open up the game plan, and he can do so much more. Baker, for what it was worth, I'm telling you as a football fan, thank you, but your services are no longer needed. And in the words of Triple H, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, we wish you the best on your future endeavors.
that was the Vince laugh too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm all for it. I'm all
Here for it.
All for it. All here for it. I'm excited, man. This is cool. And this is the time for a Browns fan to actually be excited.
You need to be.
Super excited. Ecstatic even. Let me go higher than that. I'm sorry.
Jumping out your fucking skin right now.
Man, and it's crazy because the rest of the league is going to do it for you.
Yeah. TV is about to blow the fuck up.
Oh, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. We're ready for it, too.
All right. That is the end of this episode. We apologize for the technical difficulties, but we do want to let you guys know that the Red Line radio station will be at the Piston Power Show April
1st to the 3rd.
April 1st to the 3rd. And the schedule goes for that is Friday, Money's Crazy Mind with Lee Money. Saturday, it'll be talking about balls. I pause. Dynamite Dive, let's talk about asphalt. Dynamite Dave, let's talk about asphalt. That's from 12 to 1. 2 to 4 is Continuing to Serve with Jeff and Chris. The pregame show, I don't know who hosts that, but the pregame show will be from 4 to 6. Steel City Renegades from 6 to 7. Broad Street South from 7 to 8. 8 to 9, it'll be Tim Buck Tuesdays, hosted by our producer, Tim, his goofy ass. And then Sunday, it'll be the Gary Werner Show. That's from 10 to 1. 2 to 3 is The Scoop. 3 to 4 will be Talk Sweet with Honey Badger. And 4 to 6 will be Continuing to Serve. So we will be showing up and showing out at the Piston Power Show. And I'm gonna probably be sitting in some cars. I don't know about y'all. I Piston Power Show, cars, boats, Whatever I can fucking get
Boats and hoes.
Yeah, there you go. Boats and hoes. I'm gonna probably play I'm on a boat too while I'm there. 'Cause you got to play that while you're there.
on the boat.
So, just keep in mind for that schedule. Don't forget to shout them out. Shout out to Lex Vegas and the comedy crew last night. They had a hell of a show. I was told. I saw some pictures on Facebook. Tim was part of that show. So shout out to you guys for throwing on the show and having a hell of a giving the people great show. Because as we all know, I like to laugh. We didn't laugh this whole show. So we will be back next week, and we probably will have this technical issue figured out. And on top of that, we're probably gonna see some more shit happening in the world of sports as far as the trades and free agency is going. Don't forget, too, now that I think about it, the USFL kicks up next month. And the first game will be shown on Fox, I believe. It will be New Jersey versus Birmingham. I'm excited.
This is gonna be good.
We didn't get to see the first USFL. We only get to see clips of that shit on ESPN 30 for 30s and shit. So I want to see what this shit look like for real. Oh, and the only time I've really seen anything USFL related was Pro Football Funnies on YouTube. So I'm ready for it. And then football's year round, man. Football is literally the only sport that's year round.
Love it.
All right, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, YouTube, like us and subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, your sister's favorite Google podcast, all of that. Just all of that. So do that. Appreciate the love and support. So for 4th and 15, I'm Mel. That's Smooth. Peace.